I am Vinnie Todorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. Yeah, Foreigner. Double Vision. Anna, do you know that song?
I couldn't hear it.
But do you know that song, Double Vision by Foreigner?
I would have to hear it.
You know who would know this song?
Leona.
Oh, yeah. Lois would know this song.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me and Leona by the dumpster. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Double Vision. Foreigner. Everything reminds me of a song, Anna. You know that?
Yes. What did I say right before we went on the air that reminded you of that?
You didn't. It was something I did.
Oh, okay.
I've been at this desk all day because I do these videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't just wing these videos. Look, I wing these.
You're talking about your YouTube videos.
My YouTube videos.
Oh, they're great.
So I had to do a podcast and I had to do a video. That takes time. You got to set up the light.
Who cuts together the video for you?
Serena. For right now.
That's amazing.
For right now, but that's going to change. She's getting an ass load of it. But, I go from that. And then I went right into a podcast with none other than my favorite, Dr. Peter Ballerstadt. And folks, you want to hear an interesting podcast. This might be the most interesting recording I've ever done with Peter. So
really
coming up. Yeah, that's coming up on a Friday in a few weeks. There's another guy. I mentioned him, because I recorded with him right before we did the live show last Friday. By the way, folks, you could go back to my YouTube and watch that live. We did a live show, Anna and me, and that's still on my YouTube channel. But I recorded with none other than Bill Schindler, Dr. Bill Schindler, and was literally one of the most interesting podcasts I've had in a long time. He went back, he's an archeologist, and they wanted to figure out when man started using tools. And it was 3.5 million years ago when we were literally the size of chimps, not much bigger than a chimp, right? We were half our height.
Right.
But somehow they made tools by chipping one rock up against another rock and making an edge sharp by cracking the rock.
Right.
Once they cracked that rock, they were able to saw through bones. And you go, wait a minute, saw through bones? What kind of bones are they sawing into? Interestingly, what happened was, we weren't hunters and gatherers at first. We were just gatherers.
Right.
We would just forage and get whatever we could, any kind of leafy, whatever. We were just like every other ape. Right.
Yeah.
And then at some point, our brains were still small like the other apes. We had a little bigger skull, but not much. And one ape figured out how to make a tool. Once he made a tool, and by the way, we would scavenge back then. We were basically gatherers, but scavenging, think about what that means. Another animal killed an animal, right? And then we would take said animal after that animal was done, and we would try to scavenge whatever we could off of it.
That's like a turkey vulture.
Yeah, we could.
We got the turkey vultures out here circling.
Right. Yeah, just like that.
One day they were circling over Izzy, and she didn't like that very much because she's not dead yet.
No, but it's happening. So
it's happening. But not yet.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
So they probably smelled Izzy's mouth.
Probably her breath.
Yeah, exactly. That thing is dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, we scavenged. And then at some point, you're not getting a bigger brain just by scavenging. But once you have a tool, you can now break into the bone. And when you break into the bone, you got all the bone marrow. That's like this. Bone marrow is like this nougaty kind of butter.
Right.
It's full of fat. And when we started getting more fat, we started growing bigger brains. Now, did this happen overnight? No, not according to Dr. Schindler. It took about another 1,000,000 years.
Whoa.
But we started building a bigger brain. Once we got a bigger brain, we started figuring out more tools and more ways to hunt and to not just scavenge anymore, but, nose to tail. Hey, we just killed this animal. We got all of these organs. We got the bone marrow. We got the meat. We got everything. And then we got the pelt. We started making mink coats, what have you.
Right.
I wonder if they were into mink back then. They probably were not into mink. They were probably
I'm sure not for fashion, but for warmth.
Maybe they were more into mastodons. Who knows what they were into? With
Whatever
the,
woolly sort of
yeah.
skin, clothing, boots.
We started figuring out you could do other stuff, just wrap
Right.
yourself up, that sort of thing. At any rate, our brains
That's
started
fascinating.
growing, and then once our brain, and then so on and so forth. He was so fascinating that I barely got it all in like an hour and 20 minutes. And I said, Bill, we need to do a part 2. So,
Right.
folks, go back and listen. Go to the Friday shows. They either came out right before this show or it's coming out right after this show. But pay attention to the Friday shows. Peter Ballerstat's coming up. Also, Dr. Bill Schindler, 2 episodes. You guys do not want to miss that. I'm going to start calling this podcast the Learning Channel.
Even though there's already a learning channel?
Remember when the Learning Channel was a place where you would go to learn stuff?
Yeah.
And then it became like this kind of schlocky.
It became trashy reality shows.
Yeah.
Which I also love. I love to learn things and I love trashy reality shows.
You love yourself some trash, huh?
I do.
And I cannot fault you. You know what my guilty pleasure is, right?
I do.
What is it?
The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
We're off of that show. We can't do it anymore.
I haven't seen it in a couple of years either. I've gotten off it, but I've not stopped Housewives. Housewives are amazing. Tell you
why I stopped.
Okay.
When
you couldn't take all the cheersing.
Yeah. Everybody was cheersing each other. But when dude,
not a verb, folks.
You see, we even hung in there when they started saying, I'm going to cheers you instead of I'm going to toast.
Mm-hmm.
That was
instead of let's make a toast, it was let's cheers each other.
Yeah, let's cheers each other. That was one thing. We made it through the whole area of everyone saying like before and after every word. Like, I really like you.
Mm-hmm,
like, I really think like I could like bring you to my home like town. Like, okay, we made it through that era. But when dudes became bitches, I grew up with a bro code. Look, guys, I don't mind telling you, I'm going to be 61 in a month.
Well, this is why it's hard to watch The Bachelorette, because it's weird to watch, 17 to 25 dudes fight over what I think it's more culturally accepted to watch women fight over men for some reason. Like, we have it in our brains, but to watch the dudes fight, you're like, this is weird. Like, I don't know.
Women are used.
I feel you on that. It's uncomfortable.
Right,
like, what's going on?
Traditional women are used to competing against women.
Right.
In their own little competitive world. Right. And
yes,
you guys make up the rules. You guys make up
it's a big source of contention if you're a girl's girl or not.
Yeah. Like, if I said I'll tell you something that happened on this Friday show. Teresa Strasser was on.
Mm-hmm.
And I compared her to a very, very sexy, beautiful woman. She went and looked up a picture of that woman and she went, oh my God, I need a nose job. She looked at the other woman who I think is beautiful and sexy. And right. The only thing she could take from it was, I need a nose job. If you think I look like her, I need a nose job. Right. Or as I like to say, every woman will say,
well, you got very upset with me when I said you look like David Strathairn.
I didn't get upset other than the
fact. And he is a good looking man.
He's 10 years old. You guys are the same age.
I didn't know that though.
Look, I would be, if I could look like Strathairn, I would be elated. Right. That he's one of the best.
With the beard shaved, you're doing more Tooch right now than Strathairn.
I look a little bit like the Tooch, right?
You got a little more Tooch.
It's happening. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm becoming Stanley Tucci, and I'm not. And look, after I'm done shooting all the stuff for my movie, I'm shaving my head. I'm done with this.
Okay.
I'm done with my hair flopping around. What am I doing? What am I, Donald Trump? I'm trying to flip it over the side. What am I doing?
You don't really flip it. You don't do that.
No, I don't.
You have enough where you don't have to do that.
No, but my hair is thin.
Listen.
It's coming off. I'm going to look just like
it sucks to be follicularly challenged.
It doesn't bother me at all. I just don't want to have to try to comb my hair. It's too thin to do anything anymore.
I think shaving the head is an awesome move.
Well, yeah. I used to keep it shaved when I was cycling. I would just keep a number 2 clipper. I would just do it myself, just clip it down to number 2. So I'm going to go back to a number 2 clipper and just knock it out. But I don't want to look different in different scenes in my documentary. So I'm leaving it.
Oh yeah, no, you got to figure. When's the ETA? What's happening? With the
still working on it, but as you know, I'm trying to get it out by the 1st of the year. That's always my goal.
Right.
But look, women are competitive. The reason we stopped watching The Bachelor is because when dudes become like bitches, I mean, there used to be
What does that mean when dudes become bitches?
I grew up with a bro code, right? Like if, let's say you and Lauren were dating,
Mm-hmm.
and Lauren and I weren't even best friends. We were just, he was in my universe.
Right.
Right?
You wouldn't go after your
Like if
somebody in
Lauren,
the same social circles. You wouldn't go after them.
yeah, if he was in the same social circle and we went to the bars together, like he would show up every second or third time at a bar when the guy showed up and he broke up with you, you're off limits to me and all the other guys in that group.
Right.
Right. That was a bro code.
Absolutely.
You know, it was called bros before hoes. That was the terminology. These guys are like snitching on each other.
They do. They do a lot of snitching, and
They
I'm always like, that's gross, right? When you
it's like
do
when
that,
did
like
dudes
she doesn't like that.
when did dudes become chicks is what I wanted to know.
But you know what? When the chicks do it, it's also gross. The dudes don't like that either. Nobody
Yeah.
likes it. Nobody likes a snitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So,
Watch on The Bachelor what happens when one of the girls comes in and is like, well, and she tries to throw the other girl under the bus. He doesn't like that.
right.
Nobody likes that. You're like, ew.
But but I don't know. I just had enough of it. That's
Yeah,
all. I just
I
had enough
understand.
of it. But two of my guilty pleasures, because I work my ass off and I just like to get lost in fantasy. So I like a good rom-com. Unfortunately, I don't like the new rom-coms because I don't get the youth of today, right? I don't get what they're kind of falling in love. Doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
I like it back when Meg Ryan was falling in love with Tom Hanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks a lot. That
Mm-hmm.
sounds cool. Hanks a lot.
Mm-hmm. Hanks a lot.
I like
Hanks a lot.
I like when Kate Beckinsale was falling in love with what's his name from Muscle Off Dogs. What's his name? Come
John
on.
Cusack.
Cusack. Speaking of
Yeah.
Cusack, come on. Cusack had the box over his head and say
Oh,
anything.
I love him forever.
Come on, that's the scene and say anything. He's got the boom box over his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the rain. In the rain. Those are I love those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Love them. Love them. I can't get enough of them. Right.
Yeah.
And also, in my seasons coming up, let me tell you why the fall season is my favorite season, Anna.
Yeah.
Two things.
Okay.
Number one, football season.
Yes.
And folks, we talked about football foods on the show last week. I'm going to be making some. Oh, we talked about it on the thing. Today, I want to talk about how to make wings. I want you to talk.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wings.
And
I'm making, by the way, when this comes out, I think on Wednesday, I'm doing a Facebook Live of making wings.
Good. So I'm going to tell you about the wings. We talked about it on that Facebook Live.
Okay.
I'll talk about it again. And I make my nuts. I'm going to explain how I make my nuts, my football nuts, and I'll talk about the sausage.
Wait, hold on. You talked about the football nuts on our YouTube Q&A. So people need to go watch that.
Okay, if you want to hear about that, go watch the Q&A. But I also make my sausage.
Yep.
I make different things every week. I just make a little something different. This week,
I love football food.
By
the way, NSNG is really friendly for football food. Like it's really good for that. And you think it's not, but all you have to do is get rid of like the corn chips and the Doritos and those kind of things. But you can still have the yummy dips. You just don't want to put any flour to thicken it or cornstarch to thicken it. You can still have. I have a million dips at the Substack. You can still make the roasts, the sausage, the slow cooked stuff, the wings, all that stuff is perfect for NSNG and easy to make at home.
And by the way,
without the seed oils.
With the sausage, I go to the this really great place that makes the best sausage ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a few links of different things. I might get Italian, I might get bratwurst. I'll get a few different things. And every week I get something different. I cook them up, I slice them up into little medallions. And I'll sit there with my fork and I'll get a really good hot mustard. I'll get some horseradish, the good stuff. It's hard to find, folks. You got to really read these labels. And that's something else I'll do on Sunday football. No, I'm not eating the whole time, but if I'm watching 2 or 3 games, I'm changing up every week, right? Whenever it's time to eat during that game, I don't eat throughout all 3 games, but at some point, dinner time comes, and I don't want to be messing with a whole big meal sitting in my lap, right? Every now and then I'll do the steak dinner. Every now and then I'll do the chicken dinner. But again, you're messing with it while you're trying to watch a game. Doing the sausage, the nuts, the chicken wings. It's more football-friendly food, okay? I do not drink beer, folks. People say, "Oh, do you have a beer with that?" No, because I'm not going to sit there and drink liquid bread. I'm sorry. If I
Right.
do have a drink on Sundays, I'll pour myself a scotch. Usually during the last game, I'll nurse a scotch, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm not a big drinker, so I usually wait until halftime and go pour that drink, and then I'll watch that last game with the scotch. Um, at any rate, my other guilty pleasure in the fall, and I don't start this until mid-October, but it's coming up. We're 6 weeks away. I'll start watching cheesy Hallmark Christmas stories. I love them.
You have to watch the one that's set in Solvang in my town.
Oh, I've seen that one.
A Very Charming Christmas Town is
Yeah,
what the movie's called.
I've seen that one. I've seen all of them.
It's
Most of
so
them are
bad.
shot
I
in
love it.
Vancouver in the summer.
Hmm.
Everybody that's dressed up in their coats in the background, they're sweating,
Yes.
right? It's the whole thing is just so it's yeah. I was talking to Chris Schaefer about this, one of the guys we work with, and
Yeah.
his mom is into it. His mom and me, we both think that we can actually write some of these scripts at this point. But it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, I will watch several of them per week. It's all I do up until Christmas time. And then the day after Christmas, or whenever I leave for Europe, that's when it stops until the next year. And I've seen the same ones over and over again, over and over. Can't help myself. Call me a big old softy. Anyway, Anna, you want to watch
Let's
so
watch your video.
another YouTube video?
Hmm.
But what I've been doing is I've been doing these videos, and people are really, really coming on to these things. They're starting to get more and more views. Now, let me explain. I never paid attention to my YouTube channel, right? I couldn't pay attention to everything. I'm doing Instagram, I do Twitter, I do these podcasts, I do all this stuff. And at some point I said, you know what? Let me give people better information, more pointed information, right? So that's what I do. I give you really good pointed information where the video is about one thing. This one happens to be a little over 4 minutes long. Most
Great.
of them are, some of them are 15 to 20 minutes long. I don't sugarcoat these things. Whatever they are, they are. This one is called What Eating Grain is Actually Doing to Your Body. I fast forwarded through the first 20, 30 seconds. Let's give it a listen. You ready, Anna?
I'm ready.
So let's dive right in. What is a grain? Well, you have corn, wheat, rice. Now, there are many other grains, but these are the ones that are commonly used in the American diet, so we'll stick with those. There is actually a lot wrong with grains. Now, if you listen to a registered dietitian, they will tell you that there's a difference between simple carbohydrates and complex carbs. Simple carbs are sugars, and most people can wrap their brains around the fact that if you have too much sugar, it's not good for you. But somehow complex carbs, a grain, is supposed to be really healthy. As it turns out, grains turn to sugar once it hits your stomach. So it's not any better. As a matter of fact, I can make a good argument that it's worse. Here's how. When you eat a simple sugar, say a piece of cake or ice cream, you get what's known as a glucose spike. Your sugar goes way high and then it drops down. We've all had that sugar low after we have a big giant spike. You've seen kids at birthday parties. They're running around and then all of a sudden they're agitated, they start crying, and you have to take them home. A load is a lot different. So remember the spike we talked about? A glycogen load is where the spike goes up, but it doesn't come right back down. And that's why the dietitians tell you it's good for you, because somehow you're getting good, clean, even energy. But is that the truth? I beg to differ, because once you get that nice load going, your body has to start releasing insulin in order to cover that sugar. And what does that do? It makes us insulin resistant. The other thing it does is it causes inflammation, especially in your gut. And the third thing that happens is when you keep dropping all of that insulin on top of the sugar, it doesn't store it as sugar because we're already saturated with sugar. Your liver has what it needs, your muscle has what it needs, and your blood system has what it needs. So what does it do? It turns that sugar into a long-chain triglyceride. In short, it turns it into a fat, and it stores it as a fat. Not to mention that it causes your triglycerides to go way up. And now you have the beginning of type 2 diabetes. So we've been eating grains for thousands of years. Why would you say we're all of a sudden getting fat now? Well, if you look at it, we started getting fat in the early 80s, and it's only gone up like a hockey stick ever since then. Why did that happen? Well, we started eating way more grains than we were supposed to. Well, what caused that? Well, let's look at the government. We came up with something very brilliant called the food pyramid. And what was right there on the bottom? Something that we should have 6 to 11 times a day? Grains. The entire bottom of the pyramid started off with 6 to 11 servings of grains per day. Now, it only said 6 to 11 servings, but does anyone really know what a serving is? Well, you can go look that up, and no one ever does. They just see 6 to 11 servings, and it's like, hey, open season on all the grains you want. That was the beginning of the problem. So here's the kicker. Are whole grains better than refined grains? The answer, yes, slightly better. But here's what happens. The FDA allows the grain companies to actually cut their grains. So you only have to have 51% whole grains. The rest can be refined grains, and you can call it a whole grain product. The consumer does not know the difference. So even though it's slightly better, it's not actually good for you because 49% of those grains are refined grains. If you want to learn more, check out my video, 10 foods you should stop eating immediately.
There you have it. I think I'm the only guy that's doing YouTube videos that doesn't put the thing in that says, hey, click below and subscribe. Hit my subscribe button. I think I'm the only guy out there that's not pandering that way, Anna. I mean,
I don't think that's pandering. I think that's telling people to subscribe because people do forget. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, look,
many times I've watched a video and someone said, don't forget to subscribe. I'm like, oh yeah, I like their content. And I go and subscribe. So
well,
I think you should, I think you should get over calling that pandering. It's actually asking for people to
I'm doing the thing where I'm going, look, this information is so strong that you're going to subscribe. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I love it.
Anna, I've been wrong before. But we'll see.
Doubtful. Would you like me to do an unboxing?
Yes, but before you do that, how did that become a thing? How did unboxing become a thing?
Because it's fun to see when you open a box of how do you open it and things that come out of it.
I saw a thing last week that I thought was a joke.
How do you think it became a thing? I don't have answers. I don't give a shit.
Someone sent me a thing. It might have been Kurt Lapierre. I'm not really sure. But I think it was on the Twitters, and it showed a guy. It was an Asian guy, and he was morbidly obese, and he didn't have a shirt on. It looks like he was wearing a diaper or a Speedo. I couldn't really tell because his gut hung over all of it. And he was on the floor, right? Kind of sitting like a Buddha on the floor. And he had food all around him, just all around him, but not good food, just piles of Skittles, piles of like cartons of ice cream open, I don't know, like Doritos looking stuff and cookies, just all piled up all around him. And he was using a rake and he was raking it towards himself and grabbing food and eating it. And I said, what's this? What am I looking at? And they said, oh, that's, the mukbang thing that you and I thought mukbang was just making. It's
just supposed to be eating sounds on a microphone.
But is this where we are in the world where
that sounds actually really sad. The contents of that video make me feel really sad.
It upset me on levels you cannot even begin to understand. I'm like sitting there going, and it had millions of views. I'm sitting there going, in what world is this entertaining? In what world? If someone was sitting there and cutting on themselves, right, which is a psychological thing, or they were pulling their hair out, which is a psychological thing, you'll go, oh my God, that person needs help, right? If someone was physically harming themselves in any other way, we would call the authorities and go, I saw this thing on, someone's got to go help this person. It's cutting on them. This person's going to injure themselves. But there are two situations where we don't care. Number one, if someone has Red Bull and written on the helmet and they're going out to harm themselves with a GoPro, that's okay. Red Bull, GoPro.
In fact, in some places, it's considered a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport. You're a hero. So you're allowed to go hurt yourself that way. No one's going to call the authorities. You could be as stupid as you want, but if you got a Red Bull helmet on your head and you got yourself a GoPro, you're now a celebrity. If you want to surround yourself with shit that's going to kill you and use a rake to bring it to your mouth and eat it. We're perfectly fine with that too.
Were people not saying anything in the comments? They were like, everyone was okay with it, like, ha, LOL, or like,
I was so sickened by it. I was just so sickened by it. I just went,
yeah.
What's wrong with people? Why do they think? Of course, they just want me to write Jesus H. Christ, because that's the thing, right? Oh, he's going to say Jesus H. Christ if he sees this.
People do like to send you things to make you mad.
Right, which is funny.
They're trying to get a rise out of you. I get it.
And that's all cool and funny, and I enjoy the joke as much as a nice guy. And my buddy Brett Budgar loves it and the whole thing. But here's the thing: when someone is physically harming themselves, and we're all using it for our entertainment, are we any better than the Romans who put humans?
I was just going to say, we're like watching gladiators kill each other.
Yeah, we're watching people slowly kill themselves. Are we any different? And the answer I say is absolutely not. We're no different. Wait, hang on.
It was like that video of that toddler who was smoking. Remember that kid who smoked? We talked about it years ago.
Hang on. Let me get my shirt straight. Is my shirt straight?
Yeah, you look great.
Let me get my glasses off. When I get my glasses off, I can barely see you. All right, Debbie, you ready? You ready? This is for Instagram, Debbie. Here we go. All right, I'm going to start over. I almost screwed up from the
back to one.
Okay, here we go.
Action.
If you think watching people do this mukbang thing on Instagram is cool, you're wrong. Watching someone physically harm themselves with food is not a good idea. I can't believe society even got here. It's like we're gladiators all over again. What? We want to put people in a ring and then throw a lion in there and watch the lion eat them to death? We don't do that anymore. So why do we think it's good when you put a person in the middle of a room, fill it up with food, hand him a rake, and he's raking the food towards himself and stuffing it in his mouth? He's slowly killing himself. I don't want to live in that world. Stay motivated. All right. See how I did that, Anna?
Yeah.
All right.
Like a boss.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was good.
I got it in almost one take. Yeah.
No, that was one take.
Yeah, but I was getting ready to start and I said, hang on. Serena calls me the one take wonder. Everything's always one take. You know why? Because I'm not going to do two takes.
I know.
That's why I'm the one take wonder. Okay. So you're going to do an unboxing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean for that to trigger you into a whole comment on society. And I'm opening your product, so I thought you'd think it was fun, but okay.
Oh, great. I just ruined that.
Yeah.
So what do you got? Vitamins?
You like to ruin things, Vinny.
Yeah, I tend to.
Take the fun out of all of it.
Okay, let's see what you got.
This literally arrived on my porch right when you sent me the email with the Zoom link.
Oh, cool.
This is your mukbang.
Is it my vitamins? I can't hear that. I couldn't hear that.
You couldn't hear that? It's so loud. You can't hear that?
Couldn't hear it.
I wonder if it tries to cut down errant noise, so it thinks it's errant noise. I'm squeezing the
all right, so
pack, but I want to not put my address on the.
I send out two things
of it.
Kind of packages. I send out vitamins and I send out nut butter in those packages.
It's a bubble wrap,
Mm-hmm.
manila envelope.
Yep.
You can't hear me wrestling this thing?
Mm-mm.
Really? It's so
Nothing.
loud.
The one I can't figure out is like when Gina Grad laughs on the show, it cuts that out. It cuts out her laugh. It sounds like she's being silent.
Oh, okay. So this is making sense now because when you play music, it cuts it out. It won't let me hear it.
I wonder if there's a setting in my Rode thing where it does that.
I don't know if it's a Rode thing or a Zoom thing. Very strange.
I'm gonna have to talk to Gary and see if he can help me figure it out. Ultra.
What do I have?
Oh, you got the coffee.
Hold on.
Coffee
Wait for it.
And the vanilla.
I get 10 of each every month.
How do you just get so few?
To the paper. Because that's what I get every month. But electrolyte infused. But I will say this: we oftentimes run out, and I probably should increase mine. See, it comes in it's wrapped into. There's 10 in there with a little postcard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to do is, because these have been shipping in the heat, what I want to do is I'll put them in the pantry for a little while. I don't want to refrigerate them because then they become too hard.
No, I refrigerate. I put 10, 15 of them in the fridge at a time because you pull them out and you just hold them in your hand for like 15 seconds.
Oh, because
and they become a perfect consistency.
This is the thing I look forward to every month is getting this in the mail.
Anna, the only thing I've eaten today besides 6 eggs, I had 6 eggs. I had hard-boiled eggs this morning, early, really early. And as you know, I've been sitting here all day. Like I think my ass is now one with this chair. Because
I hate that feeling. I can barely sit for 1 hour for us to do the podcast. I get so antsy. I'm always like, I got ants in my pants.
I'm getting neuropathy in my in my leg. Is like,
yeah, you can't feel it anymore. It's
oh,
not
yeah,
good.
like, oh my God, I got to wake up a little bit. And
so did you have a nut butter?
I had 2 over the course of the day.
Good.
Because I was in between, we had finished with something. I was getting ready to do a podcast. I went upstairs to get more coffee, and man, I need something. Nothing was quick enough because I had to get right back down here and start recording. And I went, oh, nut butter. Grabbed one out of the fridge, took it down.
It's really the perfect snack because it actually fills you up. Not like a snack where you're like, oh, I just had 4 bites of something and now I just want more.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love them so much. And like you, I had 2 hard-boiled eggs this morning. I had left it because I made for my YouTube last night. I took the sausage, mushroom, sage, and shallots and put pumpkin on it. Well, Lauren cooked most of it and he left like 4 bites. He has this weird thing where he leaves 4 bites of food always. And I'm like, finish the food. And he's like, I don't want it. I'm like, it's perfect. It's 4 bites. So I went and ate the 4 bites of food and a nut butter. So that's all I've had today too. And I'm making a steak for dinner and I cannot wait. I'm so hungry right now. But that nut butter helped midday. Big time.
I had a New York strip last night.
Oh, don't eat. I want to eat it.
I'm still thinking about it because I you know how I do my steaks now.
Did you use the barbecue dust?
I put the barbecue dust with extra salt because folks, I like everything double salted. And Serena just puts hers with the dust.
That's how I do mine.
Man, I mean, I ate
so
the
good
crap out of that. Poor Bonzo didn't get anything. I did everything. No. I ate the fat. I ate everything around it.
The whole thing.
Because
I'm having a ribeye tonight. I can't wait.
You know what I do, Anna, is I take your dust and I turn the strip on its edge.
You do the sides, you go and roll it. That's what I do too.
I pat it into the fat.
You rock it.
Yeah. I pat it into the fat.
I do that with the pork chops too. I take the edge of the pork chop and rock it in that dust.
I put it, and then when I get it in the skillet, I'll send it up on its edge just to caramelize that fat with the
render
dust.
it.
So once I'm done,
real good.
I take some of it with the meat while I'm eating it, but at the end, the fat is like the dessert. That's the way I do it.
I eat the fat first.
No, I do some with the meat because I like the back. But at the end, there's always a little strip of fat, and I just savor that because it's crispy. It's got that flavor. It's got you get the good fat. You got the
I'm so hungry right now.
I just made myself hungry. I'm gonna need another ultra fat. I don't have any here.
We were going to talk about stretching and whatnot last week. Would you like, especially speaking of being restless and feeling I'm antsy in my seat.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about stretching and stuff?
Yeah. I had a conversation with one Mr. Kurt Lapeert last night. And he was talking about it and I said, oh, Kurt, just give me a call. So he's got some sciatica problems. Right. And
I had those when I was pregnant. Is Kurt pregnant?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think
that makes sense.
You would think he was in menopause, but no, he still got pregnant. And I said, look, Kurt, everyone wants to get rid of sciatica in 2 minutes. They think, oh, I could just twist or crack my back.
It feels like that kind of a pain where you could if you just do a thing, it might go away.
Right.
It feels like something's just like slightly out of whack, but it's not.
But
it's pressing on a nerve, right?
Yeah. It took you a long time to get there. It's going to take you a while to get out of it.
Right.
You need to start working on it. And I said, just, even stretching your quad, which has nothing to do with it. Get a little stretch on your quad.
Stretching my quads now.
I like to hold my stretches. Sometimes I go 2 minutes, but I like to hold anywhere from a minute to 90 seconds. And I use a stopwatch. I have a little stopwatch. I just so I can stay disciplined on it. Sometimes I go 2.5 minutes. And then I'll slowly start working my hamstrings, right? Not really getting into my back, just keeping my hip, my upper body. You know how ballerinas do it? You get your leg up on the bar and you keep your body straight up and you just put the pressure on your glute and your hamstring. Do that. Start working on your hamstrings, even though that's not exactly where the problem is. You start working from that end and then work up. You could do the pigeon pose. That's a great stretch when you have sciatica problems. If you don't know what the pigeon pose means, folks, just Google that shit and, YouTube, it'll come up. At any rate, I said, look, Kurt, you're not going to fix Rome in a day. You didn't get there in a day,
Right.
right? Take your time, start doing some of these stretches. And, you could do the thing where you lay on your back, let both of your knees go to one side, bring it back upright, bend your knees, let them go to the other side. Just start moving your back, but don't try to do anything too severe. That's when people start pulling all kinds of muscles. They'll pull the sports muscle. They'll pull muscles in the ilium. They'll pull the sciatica, what am I thinking of? The obliques, and on and on and on. You got to start slowly and just kind of work into it. And don't do it one day and go, no, I did it the other day. It didn't seem to matter. You have to do a little bit every day and it happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, stretching is very important. People.
So do you just stretch at night? Do you stretch before you start working out? Do you stretch when you're done working out? I got to say, as I've gotten older, my frequency of stretching has decreased.
I wake up every morning, and right after I eat something, I come down with my second cup of coffee to my gym, and I spend about 30 or 40, 40 is a long time, about 30 minutes, mostly stretching my shoulder, the one that I had reconstructed. And along with that, I'll do some lower back stretches, some rudimentary stretches that I have. And then I'll wait until it's time to work out. I'll spend about 10 minutes stretching before I start working out. Stretching before a workout is not as important as stretching at the end of a workout. But I might spend a little time stretching. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be in a rowboat at 3:00. I'm going to probably spend 15 minutes stretching my lower back, stretching my hamstrings, my quads before I get into that boat. And when I get out, I live about 5 minutes away from the boat launch. I'm going to beeline it back home, come in my gym, have some water and electrolytes, and probably spend 45 minutes to an hour stretching, right? And you'll go, well, geez, Vinny, that's a lot of stretching every day. That's what I do. That's what I do. This is my living. My body has been my living, right? I'm always trying to set an example for everyone else. I spend, just like Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne spent his life exercising, stretching, aerobic, weightlifting, the whole thing. I've modeled my life after my hero, Jack LaLanne. I spend all day, every day doing this stuff. You don't have to, but you should spend some time every day doing something.
Right.
And stretching is part of that something.
I love it.
Okay. I'm not asking you to be like me. That's the problem I've always had with my brothers. They always go, well, Vinny, we're not you. And I always say to them, you're not supposed to be. Mike, I don't wrench on cars all day long. You do. You're a mechanic. Frankie, I don't sell cars all day long. That's what you do. You're a car salesman, right? Me, I'm an exercise guy. That's what I do for a living. That's what I teach. That's what I care about. That's what it's the bane of my existence, right? And I'm never going to let it go.
No.
Nobody wants an out of shape coach that doesn't know what they're talking about. And I'm always trying to change, right? If something new comes about, I will learn about it, try to figure out what it is, figure out if it's worthwhile doing or if it's more bullshit that the internet has. That's what I spend my days doing. And then I give that information to you guys.
Yeah.
Right? I disseminate what's going on and hand it to you as I see fit.
Right.
Say something, Anna. Say something about Villa Capelli, because I got coffee here. I got a drink.
You guys like olive oil? Well, you should. And if you're going to get any olive oil, you need to get Villa Capelli olive oil. Yes, they are sponsors of this show. Yes, they have a great discount code that gets you 10% off. But we have been discussing Villa Capelli olive oil for literally years and for years before they became sponsors. We want you to buy Villa Capelli olive oil because not only is it the best olive oil on the planet, but the grocery store olive oils are not to be trusted. They're cut with other oils. They're not up to extra virgin standards, and they don't have to disclose that on the label. And it's very upsetting, and especially when, the internet is the FDA is supposed to look out for us, not the internet. The internet's definitely not looking out for us.
I think the internet spends more time looking out for us than the FDA.
Right.
Right. We got like me, Nina Teisho's, Gary Taubes out there, Peter Ballastat. All these people are looking out for you.
Right.
They're all independent and they care about you. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Anna, keep doing the ad. I'm sorry.
So no, it's fine. Villa Capelli olive oil tastes amazing. And if you haven't had real olive oil, if you've only been using like the big grocery store brands, you're going to be shocked when you actually get some Villa Capelli and you taste it. Use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, not with the wimpy Y, Vinnie, VINNIE, and you will get 10% off your order each and every time. Get the 3-liter tin, get the regular 750 milliliter tin, whatever you want to get. but just try this olive oil. It's insanely good. I use it in salad. Tonight I'm having a steak, but I'm also making a little red leaf salad. And all the salad is just lettuce. And then I make the most amazing balsamic vinaigrette, which is Villa Capelli, balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and some herbs. And it's incredible. And I love it. And you will too.
Anna, you said something in that ad that reminded me of something I wanted to say.
Good.
People say to me on the consults, because I take everything from the consults. By the way, folks, you want to sign up for a consult, go to VinnieTartaries.com. It's me you're going to talk to. You don't have to be shy around me. I'm just a regular dude. Go sign up for a consult. Anyway, people say to me, yeah, I know you're against vegetables. What? I'm against No, I'm not one of those guys that think vegetables are conspiring to kill us with their chemicals. We've actually come around as a species that eats vegetables. Our bodies know how to combat those chemicals that they think are going to kill you. That being said, do I think there's a healthy way to have vegetables in your diet? Yes. Someone was asking me the other day, can I have a salad for lunch? And I always say it depends on what's in your salad. It's always good if you could put an animal protein. Now, Anna may remember this about me. I have a visceral reaction to eating an animal protein in a salad. Now, I don't mind having meat jewelry around my steak, meaning some broccoli, some cauliflower, this kind of stuff. I just don't like having a salad with chicken bits in it or shrimp or
I love it.
like that. Ooh, I want to ask you about something.
I love it.
I know most people do. I don't.
I love a steak salad. I love a steak salad so much with a little blue cheese crumbled in there.
I'm right.
And roasted red peppers. Mm.
Okay, so I don't like animal protein in my salad. That's just me. I'm the only. And by the way, I'm in the party of one. Serena loves it. Everybody I know loves, protein in a salad. Okay, but I will do a salad with other stuff.
Right.
And you can too if you want to do this for lunch. People get caught. It's like, hey, I work at the blood. We only have a salad bar, right? The first thing you want to do is see if you could put a higher quality leafy green in that salad.
Yeah.
Meaning,
not an iceberg.
Not an iceberg. That's nothing but fiber and water. And, nothing wrong with fiber and water, but you want to get a little bang for your buck. I'm not a big kale guy unless I do Anna's kale thing where, I did them the other night, Anna. I made your kale with the salt and the whole thing.
Yeah, where you kind of crisp it up.
Yeah, crisp it up in the oven.
Yeah.
Again, a great football food. Great football food.
Something to crunch on.
Not by itself. You need other stuff around it.
For sure.
But
you have to have spices on it or else you're like, what are we doing?
I had my friend come over last year and it's like, he's going to want something crunchy. I did that. He goes, I can't believe you just made this. Like, are you a chef? I'm like, no, this is simple. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. You can turn on a computer and make kale chips.
Yeah. Look at me. So kale is a good choice. It's a cruciferous vegetable. Spinach is a good choice.
I like spinach leaves, but I also like to throw in some romaine leaves for some crunch.
Yeah, and radicchio, you got different things you could put in there.
The bitter greens are really good too.
Yeah, because
throw in some frisee or some radicchio.
Now it tastes like something, right?
Right.
So you could do all that kind of stuff. I always put avocado because you get some good fat in there, right?
I love avocado on a salad.
I put olives.
But it has to be firm enough or you put it on at the end so that when you toss the salad, you're not smashing the avocado.
No, you do it like you do your protein. You mix your salad, then you plop it on top.
Yeah.
Even I know that. I know that.
I'm so proud of you.
You could put the black. I like to do the calamatas. You get the pitted ones, or you pit them yourself. You throw that in there. Put a few of those. You don't have to put many. A few olives go a long way in making that salad taste different. And then after that, if you're going to put black olives, do yourself the world's biggest favor. Boom. Throw a little bit of feta cheese in there. Trust me on this. It's the dog shit of cheese. It smells. Boom. You throw it in there.
That's not the worst smelling cheese.
No, but it smells like dog shit, which is not the worst smelling thing in the world. Look, it's not some cheeses.
I don't think feta smells like, I think it smells briny. I don't think it smells like dog shit.
So
dog shit does not smell briny.
you haven't met my dog and his shit. No,
Bonzo shit's feta is what I've learned.
You put that with the olives, and you put the avocados. Now you got fat, you got protein, And then we talked about Villa Capelli earlier. Folks, with Villa Capelli, it's its own salad dressing. You just pour the Villa Capelli on top, bam, hit it with some salt. I like to use the Malden salt on this because every now and then you'll get a big crunchy piece in there.
Little
It's
flake.
it's a flavor explosion. People go, whoa, you don't put the Redmond's real salt? Yeah, you can put Redmond's if you want, but trust me on this. I'm a bit of a gourmet. You hit it with the Malden. That's what you want to do. That's the way I like to rock and roll. You want to have that. That's a good meal. That's an excellent meal right there. And that's all I'm going to say. Anna, you have anything else, or should we let him go?
That's it.
You're done? You're done with me?
After 52 minutes?
Yeah. Serena's usually,
Aren't you done with me?
I'm never done with you. Never.
Oh,
Never.
oh God.
Yeah.
Help me.
Help.
Help. I'm blink.
Ethan,
I blink for help.
you're doing Morse code with your blinking. Folks, she's in grocery stores, but you don't have to travel to get it. You can go right to eathappykitchen.com. I get all the gravy sent right to the house. I'm going to be honest with you. I had the, you don't call it pomodoro. You call it, what do you call it? What's that one gravy? Not
There's
pomodoro.
marinara, there's puttanesca, there's arrabbiata, there's pink crema, and there is pumpkin.
The puttanesca.
Ah,
Um,
my favorite for fall and winter.
I had it the other day,
Yeah.
and for some reason, it reminded me of my grandmother.
Oh, that's nice.
I got a little choked up. Enjoyed the crap out of it, but I was choked up. Italians get choked up, folks. We can't help it. But I thought about my grandmother when I was eating your which one? Which one was it?
Puttanesca.
Puttanesca. The arrabbiata is my favorite. Yeah, I'm lying. I'm caught between the arrabbiata and the crema, the pink crema. Those are my two favorites. Folks, right? It might be sold out by the time this podcast comes out, but the pumpkin marinara, if it's still around, grab it. Just have it in your arsenal. Have it in your pantry, or Serena will call it the larder. Just have it.
You know,
there.
you can get a case and just mix and match your twin packs. So you can get, yeah, it couldn't hurt to throw in a twin pack or two of the pumpkin.
It's good to have around. It's good to have around.
We have 30 or maybe even 28 twin packs left. So
they're going to be gone by the time this comes out. They'll be gone.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Look, go to eathappykitchen.com. Check it out. While you're there, I talked a lot about her seasonings. Go get those. I use them here all the time. All the time. You're going to use them wherever you are. You know what to do with me. We all go shopping on Amazon. Before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner. It puts coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We're able to keep the show free for a gazillion years in a row. Also, you know, I have the Superfan page. And if you guys want to get the NSNG ebook, that's all at VinnieTortorich.com. Look, folks, it's a lot for a little. That's the only way I can put it. You know, I was talking to Peter Ballestad about this. You know, he's like, he goes, why do you do what you do? It's like, because it was my commitment after I got to live, after leukemia, that I wanted to do something with my life besides just make money. I do okay. I do okay financially. I do this because I want to have some kind of legacy. I want people to know me as a person who really tried to make a difference before he died, because dying making money is no way to live. Wow.
Agreed.
That was fucking powerful. Folks, on behalf of, I don't know why this song came to my mind, but on behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with my buddy, Dr. John.